What's going on, everybody? It's the Bourbon Hunter. We are here out front of O'Darby's Liquor Barn. Look at the size of this store. There's absolutely no way they don't have some good stuff in here. Let's go see what they have.
We have this year's release, the final release this year of Booker's. They already announced next year's release, so keep an eye out for those, all four of these, and tons of them here. If you're looking for them, this is where they're at. And now we got all of this shelf. I mean, this shelf is huge. This is also a heavy hitter. This is an underrated bourbon. If you like Maker's Mark in general, you're more than likely gonna like this Maker's Mark 46 cask strength. Look at that, $46.99 for Bardstown Origin Series, bottled in bond. So look, they got 3 different batch numbers of the barrel, and this one, it's just phenomenal. I've finally opened my bottle, and it is really, really good. So look, if you notice closely, 5-year, 5-year, and the one that got the gold medal, obviously, was a 6-year. And then we got these hand barrels over here, which look kind of interesting, 105 proof. I haven't heard the best stuff about them, but I've only seen these two. I've never seen this black one over here. I'm not entirely sure what it's all about. 105 proof on both of those, but really interesting for the price. Starting to see Henry McKenna finally sit on shelves around town. 10-year, bottled in bond, single barrel. So $58 for that. Not a bad price. I'm starting to see these Old Forester single barrel 100 proofs pop up around the country, and I need to find one here. So let me know if you're anywhere on the East Coast and you've seen those. Please let me know. I want to get one. All right, so I'm here with a special guest, my grandfather, Hal, and he is a big, long-time bourbon drinker, guys. I may be 23, but he's been drinking it for a much longer time. So, Poppy, what do you like on this shelf?
Long Branch I like. And 1792, both a good price point. Most of them have a smooth finish. And another one I really like is Willett's.
You like the Willett pot still?
Willett's a little pricier, but worth the money.
Anyway, there's something else you should know. Before the night is over, one of you will betray me.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe you said that. Did you know that this Long Branch is actually an 8-year-old whiskey?
Yes.
Yep. I figured you knew that.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of good bottles up here.
A lot of good bottles. Russell's a good bottle.
Yeah, I let you try that, and y'all like that a lot.
Yeah.
So these are starting to come down a little bit. That's good to see that price. So this Tabby Road Company right here is down in Hilton Head Island, I believe, near Charleston, where I'm at.
Not to Bardstown.
And this one?
Yeah.
That's expensive. Yeah, that's number 8. I'm looking for Disco 11. It's great, apparently. And they released a single barrel rye that actually won a gold medal. I'll put the picture right here. I got to try it. You find it in like the Charleston-ish area, but it is so good. Very good. Trying to be something it isn't. I'm not the biggest fan of this brand because of that Texas heat. It makes it really, really hot. Now tell me your honest opinion. Do you like this brand?
Never had that brand. Never tried it. That's one to try, right?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I hope you don't like it. I hope you don't, because I don't like this brand. They don't do a lot of stuff. But I will tell you, just to be fair and transparent, a lot of people like this one right here, this Architect. I've had it a couple times. I've had different build numbers. It's just not for me. But I'll let you buy it and I'll look away. How about that?
Okay.
I have been sleeping on it a little bit. I've yet to actually try this wheat whiskey, but one day. They're everywhere here, so I'll pick one up at some point. Magic Rabbit chocolate peanut butter whiskey. All right. And then a really good price on the Lux Row, as a matter of fact. If you've never had one of these are very good. 100 proof Revelation double oak from Heaven's Door. That's really interesting. There we go. $57.99. I don't know. We got these Bibb and Tucker 10, 6, and 6 year. They're different chars, but I've never heard anything bad about the 10 year. I've heard a little bit of bad stuff about this double char, but The 10-year is apparently rather good.
You know, when you're used to wheat hints and corn hints and things of that in your bourbon, it's not there. But it is I call it a tongue coater, nice on the back end.
Okay.
But I've got that bottle open if you would like to try.
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't own a Yellowstone at the moment, just because I've had a ton of their like single barrel store picks and stuff.
Right.
And all the store picks in South Carolina are like 102, 105 proof. And the 115 proof is the one I'm after.
I've got it sitting on the shelf.
I've yet to find it.
I've got a 119.
You got a 119?
Yes.
Well, don't tempt me with a good time. This is their rye side, he said, with all these different ryes here. And that one, the Paradigm Rye, is on my hit list to get next from Widow Jane. I like the rye that they're putting out, even if it's not their juice. Still like it. Good price here on the Sazerac, $29. 6-year rye whiskey, not bad at all. I heard Knob Creek's coming out with a 10-year at some point. Keep an eye out for that next year. It's gonna be really cool. Let's see what else they got here. Oh, so the Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel is finally coming down in price. Look at that, $59. That's not bad at all. I may be walking out with one of those, but this store apparently has incredible store picks that we're gonna go check out. What in tarnation is this? Virginia Distilling, light whiskey, Scott. Okay, nah, I'm good. Oh boy. Oh boy. This was on the allocation table from. What is this doing out here? This was on the allocation table at the last drop I was at. And, all right, well, that's coming home with me.
Talking about a Yellowstone. There's
119 proof?
119 proof.
Dude, don't make me buy this. How much? 60? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming home with me too. Let me go ahead and get another one in the cart. Dude, that's a crazy proof point.
It is. That's the first time I've seen a 119 come out.
I've never seen one here in South Carolina at 119 proof. That's got to be delicious. What's it called?
Is that
Floats like a butterfly.
Yeah, and its companion that's coming out this week is Stings Like a Bee.
Okay.
It's at 115.
Okay, so floats like a butterfly. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Coming from Kentucky. I mean,
yeah.
Not the Louisville area, but that's close enough to it.
So these are all y'all store picks.
These are all store picks.
All right,
here.
and how often do you do it?
We store pick. We put out a store pick every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Right.
Okay.
And it's
that's quite a few.
Yeah, it's normally what you do is when you come in and sign up for our Saddle Club, get your email there, and then we'll take your email, and at 1 o'clock on Sunday, store picks come out, and you can capture a bottle and come in that Thursday, and it's there.
I've seen this brand, but I've never had it before. Yeah. What do you think about that one? That's a new one.
It's a great barrel blend that we had. Big corn, high rye, kind of almost on the same that you look like an Old Soul. Mm-hmm. An Old Soul will give you a high rye. Yeah, they'll do the same. And we've got.
What's this blend hybrid barrel that it says it's 100% in? What's the custom barrel blend mean on it?
On this one, all of the barrel staves, you've got a toasted barrel, a honey barrel, a
char.
Hybrid, and then that's the char.
And then the hybrid, so I guess that's interesting little.
And see, there's an Old Soul.
Right.
That's a big high rye.
Okay.
We try to make sure that we have a nice blend, because you'll see we even have a tequila barrel pick.
Okay. Don Julio private cask.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see a lot of these Woodinvilles pop up.
The Woodinville.
But I love this brand and the family story
Tabby
behind
Road,
it.
yes.
They're great people. I got to meet them. They're super nice.
And then we do, of course, barrel. We do the barrel private release barrel pick there.
Wow, okay, so that's yours.
That's ours.
And then there's another one over here that is a true single barrel from
Single
them
barrel,
themselves.
right.
Wow, that's a 9-year, 7-month, 113 proof. So this is the same one I got to try the other day, and I will say it's quite delicious.
I have both
very
of these open if you'd like to go try them again.
Maybe. It's what time is it again? 9
Let's
o'clock
see.
in the morning.
It's 2 or 1 in Europe someplace. So
Oh, look at that. 0.10. Time for a little drinky poo. Cheers, genitals.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we just did a couple of Maker's Marks.
Great.
Big stave selection. We did 2 of those.
Yeah, these can be so complex and different from store to store. That's what I love about them.
Yeah.
They do such a good job. I did pick up one of these the other day. 119 proof, $49. I mean, you can't go wrong with a single barrel from Davidson. Even though it's Tennessee whiskey and some people don't like it, I'll tell you what, it sips real
well.
smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are great. And everybody's like, oh, don't say the word smooth. Like, whatever, man. It's smooth.
Angel's Envy, the cherry bomb, huh?
Yes.
Is that pretty accurate?
Yes.
I assume.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, and a weeded store pick from
We got a weeded
Old Elk.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's a 7-year. Oh, I bet that is good. These Old Elks are phenomenal picks, especially as they get higher age statements on them.
Yeah. That was Amber Waves. That was probably the last Old Elk store pick we had. That was last year.
Wow.
Here's another one.
Is that an 8-year?
That's, I believe.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it is. It's right there.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that, 51% corn. That's a high barley content on that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. I don't think that one's gonna be for me, unfortunately. What's this Bojack brand?
This is out of, I believe this comes out of Augusta.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's Augusta. It's, out of Augusta, Georgia.
Second City Beverage, 116 proof.
We had them do one for us. It was 3 or 4 people went down, picked it, proofed it. It's a nice bottle.
Yeah, that's a good price
Nice
too.
bottle. Yeah.
Good local.
Very good on a local pick.
You got a couple over here. So what about this Heaven's Door single barrel? I'm a big fan of these.
This single barrel we'd had.
125 proof?
Yeah.
My gosh, did you call it the Scorcher or something? Wow. Oh, I like that mash bill though. Yeah, I appreciate that. Heaven's Hill or Heaven's Door?
I mean Heaven's Door, excuse me.
So say you're getting a Heaven's Hill store pick, you're about to be on the news.
Yeah.
Everybody would be in here.
Everybody would be in here for that one.
Yeah. It's like, do I really want to buy 2 bottles today?
Yeah. It's Friday. Yeah, the Walthams.
Yeah, I've heard these
Beautiful.
are great.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Have you had all these?
No.
Okay, so you've not tasted
really
all of
can't. I haven't tasted all of them. Only the ones, the Driftless Glen.
That's good stuff.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, they make good stuff.
The majority of those that come in the store, that we pick in the store, yes, I have tasted.
Look at that. And there's a Rabbit Hole single barrel cask strength Derringer cask finish. Check that out. Holy crap, $200. Wow.
And we had that in a 4-pack.
Sheesh.
Yeah, and it was marketing literature on it, and all of the pictures were all individually done.
I like Rabbit Hole, but I don't like it that much.
Yeah, well, and there's an Old Pepper distillery that people don't really realize is
Not a lot of
very,
people know that this single barrel rye that's popping up around town is crazy good.
Yes.
It's a crazy good rye, especially for the price.
Yeah, I want you to taste that Yellowstone Yellow.
I've got the 115.
Check this out. This is pretty cool.
I just love Peerless in general.
I do too.
I love how they didn't take it shortcuts.
No, not at all.
It's all their juice.
This is great. Wow.
Way before the single barrel program,
10-year Evan Williams single barrel.
we sat on that for, I don't know,
Wow.
3 or 4 years.
Really?
Wow.
Putting oak in 01.
We thought we'd never, ever sell it.
Wow.
We're here at Heritage Spirits in Simpsonville, South Carolina, just up the street from one of the worst stores in the world. And we have the owner, Michelle, here. She's super knowledgeable in bourbon, huge bourbon woman. I'm telling you, I thought I was like really into bourbon. This woman opened a store because she loves bourbon, so you better listen to her. Now, what about this store makes you so unique?
I think primarily the community. Everyone here, it seems like, really shares a lot of the same passions, the same values. I have created lifelong friendships in this business, which I think is important. Good bourbon should be shared with people that you love, and this industry, this job has given me the opportunity to do exactly that.
Well, I can tell you're a bourbon person just by the length of this wall. So what's some of your favorite stuff here that you have?
Oh gosh, so you can't go wrong with knobs or mictors. Those are just like core ones. Maker's Mark, I tend to lean towards wheated bourbons.
Okay.
This Redwood Empire, I think, is a great sleeper. It's becoming
I agree.
less of a sleeper, but at that price point, obviously. And
You even got this one.
Yes, and the cash strength, I mean, you cannot beat that.
Those are some of the best underrated bottles that are slowly starting to pick up steam, guys. If you have not had either of these entry-level ones, this is probably the best price I've seen in town. I see it for $39.99 a lot. Now, the fact that it's $34, you need to come get one and then jump up to the big boy level. What's next?
Makers, obviously, I just did a barrel pick, which is actually more of a build with Maker's Mark.
The stave selection.
Yes.
Wow.
And so we're super excited. Got a few guys from the Bourbon Group and some other well-known TikTokers and YouTubers to get involved in that, just to have a very wide palette range there to pick from. So hopefully something that appeals to everyone.
Yeah.
The Penelopes are I love the Architect.
Uh-oh.
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 Are you not a Penelope fan?
No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't love them all. But
Okay.
what I was about to say is the Penelopes really were a sleeper about 2 years ago, and I brought them in. I was the first store in the upstate because, again, I am always hunting for that next thing.
Yeah.
And I really did fall in love with some of the products. This one, although it got Fred Minnick's first 94 and above point for 23,
really?
is my least favorite of the lineup, which is pretty rare. I typically share a lot of the same opinions as Fred. I think he's typically a weeder as well. This Bullet 10-year, do not let that one sleep on the shelf.
A Bullet product, really?
Yes. This one is actually, I'm pretty sure, an MGP juice in here because they were not distilling 10 years ago. It tastes completely
That changes
different.
Everything.
Yes.
Okay.
So, not being a big Bullet fan in general, like, I'll have it in an old fashioned if I'm out, but I was never compelled to move up to the 10-year on that. I had some cases come in and the lids were cracked. So I had them in back waiting to get credit. I could smell them.
Took it upon yourself to maybe...
They have a very similar profile to like Blanton's Buffalo Trace. Very similar flavor profile. I have gotten so many people to convert to this after they've tried it. In fact, they were a part of the blind tasting that I had a couple weeks ago, and it did shockingly well. Well, I wasn't shocked, but a lot of people that were in the blind picked this over Buffalo Trace, and as they well should, it's a 10-year bourbon.
Right.
But people leave that one on the shelf when really
good price for a 10-year bourbon,
that
right?
That one should be on your bar.
This one is allocated at tons of stores, and you have so many of them. I mean, how do you handle like putting stuff out here for MSRP and other stores in the area are just jacking up the prices? Like, what makes you so passionate about bourbon?
Well, I think everybody should be able to drink really good bourbon at a reasonable price. If I get a pretty good shipment of it, it goes out on the main shelf for what I can price it at.
Yeah.
If it's something that's super rare that I only get a couple of, typically I'll make a few phone calls or texts to some people that have been waiting very patiently and have been shopping my store loyally.
Some loyal customers,
and it doesn't take long for those to go. That's a new
that one's
design.
Different. Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same juice in there, but they
upgraded the
updated
bottle.
size,
I see.
the design. So their ryes are, being a wheated bourbon drinker, I don't tend to lean very heavily towards most ryes, but their ryes, their finished ryes, they have one that is finished in their peach brandy casks. That's their own peach brandy. That is amazing.
I never guessed that.
Yes.
So you got a 5-year straight rye from Old Elk. I don't believe I've seen very many of these sitting around, at least in Charleston. Maybe stores aren't picking them up, but Old Elk makes good stuff. I assume their rye's probably just as good.
Yeah, they really do. Their wheated, again, is...
I think it's all MGP anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, I'm not one of those bourbon snobs that thinks it has to be distilled on site. If you have a good juice source and what you're doing with it is good, that's all that matters. I think people get hung up on little details sometimes that really prevent them from discovering some really great products.
Yeah, what do you know about this wheat penny right here? Bourbon finished in black cherry and toasted oak wood. That sounds really intriguing, actually.
It is. I discovered that one actually on my own in another state, and had a great price point, had interesting profile notes on it, so I grabbed a bottle and took it home, and then I knew I had to put it on the shelf.
So you liked it, huh?
I did like it. It can be, it's light, but it's very flavorful. It's not a flavored whiskey, but having the toasted oak and the black cherry gives it a little different profile, and I enjoy those. I like when bourbons are a little more complex and the notes can unfold, throughout the sip. And that is one that I think has tons of flavor and character at 94 proof. So
yeah, you're not afraid of a finished whiskey, I can tell.
I don't drink a lot of them. I do like a port. I do like a good wood finish. I do not personally like a lot of red wine finishes such as the rosé cask.
Yeah, Penelope,
I don't do flavored whiskeys typically, ever. But I don't mind one being finished, having a nice wood finish. Sometimes that adds some complexity.
Yeah. Have you heard any word about the Larceny C923 anywhere in town?
Not in town yet.
Okay.
I have been promised that I will get the first shipment when it comes in by my rep. Now, he's been
that's a big promise.
He has been pretty good to me and pretty good at keeping his promises. I've been able to get the C923 Elijah pretty consistently, where a lot of people have not had that luck. But
you don't have any today?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. I'd like to hear that, yeah. Since you're a wheated whiskey woman, are you a wheat whiskey person?
I do enjoy a good wheat whiskey as well every now and then. Sometimes they can be a bit light for me, so I don't mind.
Even at the 7 age?
But when they're at a good proof, that makes it really super palatable for me.
120 horses on that one.
Yeah.
I like that. I've yet to try either of these, but I've heard amazing things, and this is some of the best pricing I've seen. So, I mean, they might even come home. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and then of course, like there was this guy which comes from a very small distributor. This Paul Sutton Heritage Bourbon is the one that beat Elmer T. Lee in the International Spirit Awards this year. We've done really well with the release on that. And we've had several tastings. It's a very small batch, very high quality product. Definitely worth checking out.
Wow. Yeah, so I have a bottle of this at the house, and I will say, this is one of the first stores I've seen that's had the soft red wheat. I see the bottle and bond all over, but this soft red wheat 6-year, phenomenal bottle. If you haven't picked it up, I mean, even the color on it is amazing. It's a killer bottle, very transparent on exactly what's in here, what's going on.
That's one of my favorite things about that bottle.
It's so cool.
When I was first turned on to it and got the first couple of bottles in, I noticed right away. And that always impresses me. Transparency in the company, when it comes to what you're putting in your body, I just feel like is important.
Very true.
And I really like that about them. And what's in the bottle is amazing.
These smoke wagons aren't bad. I think they're still sourced for the majority of their stuff. I think maybe some of the younger stuff is actually starting to become their own distillate, but these are great prices for really good bottles. If you've never had the uncut unfiltered, I highly recommend it. It's certainly a stand-up bottle for the price point. And then we even got what I hope to have on my shelf at some point, which is the 10, 13, and 15 year Widow Jane's. I like Widow Jane. Some people don't like the mineral taste from the water. Is that you?
That is me.
Oh no, okay, so we found something that we disagree on. So this is still sourced, and I believe most of this actually says it comes from Tennessee and Indiana whiskey. So this is a blend. I wish that they were around long enough to do their own stuff, but the water, just like pizza, water is a huge component of whiskey. So where your water's from, what it's all about, really changes everything.
And if people don't believe that, take a Kentucky bourbon, order a bottle of Old Kentucky Limestone water off Amazon. It's about $10 a liter, I think, but it'll last for a while.
Sound like you've done this before.
I have. Because someone once said to me what you just said about water being important, and I thought it sounded like somebody trying to sell me water. So I went home and did an experiment, if you will, and had my son. We made ice balls. For those of you that like ice, you can do that way. And then also just the traditional dropper. But we used tap water, which I recommend never doing. Distilled water, which is acceptable. But if you can actually get water from the region that it's being distilled and produced, since it's molecularly the same, it opens up the bourbon profile in such a way that it is a noticeable, discernible difference. And if you do that little test, you will never use tap water again because it gives it almost a metallic finish.
Interesting. Yeah.
And it is from the additives, the minerals, the chlorine, all of the things, and depending on where your tap water is from. Obviously, we've all gone different places on vacation. Yep. You taste the water and it tastes different there.
Very
it
true.
Also affects the flavor of the actual outcome of the bourbon. And if you happen to be one of those people that use a dropper or so to open up one of these high proof bourbons, I highly recommend trying to find water from that area. It does make a difference.
Got a really cool Bardstown stand here. I've never had the 4 square. It's a little out of my price range, but I have had the Black Label Bottled and Bond. That is phenomenal.
That's their weeded, and that one stays on my shelf too.
That's a really good one.
I sell out of it here every time I get it.
It's so good.
It's one of those at $50 and below. Again, that sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
It is a great bottle.
Yeah, I want to see a little bit more about this top shelf stuff, if you don't mind. Cleaned out for Christmas?
Yes, and having that, so I did a big allocated drop when I did the blind. I just kept bringing out carts of the allocated stuff on the hour. So that being said, we got...
I like this. I own one.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to own another.
Okay.
That's a great price for it.
It is a great bottle.
Yeah. What is that? Is that the new single barrel?
Yes. Now that one I have not had the pleasure of trying that yet. That literally is fresh off the truck.
The new Goose Island release, whatever that's all about. I don't know. It says brand stout barrels, so it's finished in a beer barrel. Goose Island and a lot of other whiskeys do some big collabs, obviously with their beer and everything. Oh wow, look, we got 2XO, Gem of Kentucky, and the Willet 8-year weeded. Pipe Dreams up there as well. One of the cheaper prices for Elijah Craig 18 in the area. That's a phenomenal bottle. If you get the right single barrel, don't forget, they're different single barrels, so roll the dice if you want to. High West Cask Collection, bourbon, finished in Cabernet barrels, which I bought a bottle the other day, so you should definitely grab them while they're around. They don't stick around very often. An Old Ezra 7, oh man, I've been looking for some of these because
they're great.
They're quite good.
They really are. And again, I think do not get the the traction that they deserve.
Oh boy, Charco mellowed. Is this a good pickup or should I get the rye?
I don't know, should I get the rye or the bourbon? Which one's better?
I've heard great things about these, and it's from Luxro. I already get no Luxro. Maybe I don't get this one.
I don't know, I'm so conflicted.
I do have the Peerless Double Oaked. I don't get enough to allocate space on the shelf for
Oh wow,
it.
so you do have some.
I do have some of the double, and that is an outstanding bottle.
It really is. The Elijah Toasted, $59.99. That's a great price for it. The Peerless Double Oak's a fantastic bottle. I actually finally own one now, and I've gotten all of my friends' ones from different stores in town and down in Charleston mainly, but it's been a hoot.
Is this the legendary C923?
That is it. It's
Oh
$79.
boy. $79?
Or maybe 74 actually. Let's look.
Oh goodness.
Well, I'm not used to being on this side of the counter. I'm normally over there with the credit card.
79.
79?
Yeah, I don't know if I can pass up on that. That's one that doesn't come by very often. Oh, well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to buy the Luxro and that.
Okay.
Just to have one, you know, because it's bottle of the year or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever they say. I don't know. It's a killer age statement, killer proof point. Elijah Craig really doesn't put out bad stuff either.
No, they are not my first choice in bourbons in general.
Ooh, hot take.
I have we all have our favorites.
Yeah.
But I think that it is such a solid bottle, honestly, at that price point. If you're paying ridiculous money for it,
Yeah, it's not worth it.
It's good. If you love Elijah Craig already, it's the best one they've put out, I think. But at $79 a bottle, very solid bottle, I would not.
Especially with the age statement. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't find something comparable,
That's 13
really.
years for that.
Yeah,
Correct.
great.
And it'll be one of the last at that age statement for them, or so that's my understanding.
Oh, really?
They have run out of 12-year juice.
Not fun.
No, I think the plan was they realized that they were going to, and unlike what Buffalo Trace did with Weller 12, instead of really just culling what they were producing, which is why we didn't see Weller 12 for 2 years, they decided to put it into this barrel proof program, which had actually the opposite effect. It got really popular. Everybody was buying it, and now they have officially run out of the 12-year juice, and that's why this is the last one that'll be 12 years and above, and also why Elijah Craig removed the 12-year statement off of all of its small batch bottles. They used to all say 12 years.
Did they?
But they are not anymore, and that is why.
Oh, did not know that.
In time, that will hopefully rectify itself,
Yeah,
but that
I
is
hope
the
so.
one thing that you cannot rush is time. So that's another reason why that particular bottle is so sought after, is because that is the last batch that has 12-year and above. That one's 13 years and 8 months, I believe.
13 years, 7 months.
7, okay.
Yeah, I think.
You are probably, yes, you're right.
I stare at bottles all day.
Oddly enough, the rye is the one that grabbed me. So
Really?
that we did that presentation, or they did that presentation for the Greenville Bourbon and Whiskey Society, which I'm a member of,
So you're a member of the Greenville Bourbon and Whiskey Society.
and the South Carolina Bourbon Community.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the Upstate Bourbon Girl on all your social media.
Oh, boy.
So,
A little shameless plug.
but honestly, their rye was really great. It was outstanding, and it moved me to bring the product in immediately. So we
Yeah.
had that
This is a really
presentation
good
on
one.
a Wednesday night, and this was on my shelf by Friday morning.
Yeah, this is a really good one. Look at that. Look, same thing. Transparency on the back, mash bill, distilling season. You know, that's the kind of stuff I like to see. I'm glad they're doing everything right. I would love to do a Bourbon Hunters
single barrel pick with them, but they don't have that program set up quite yet. So.
And they will likely do a state barrel program before they will actually start releasing it to individuals. Typically, they'll do that, and then if they do a single barrel, it will go to like high-end bars and restaurants first.
Maybe we can get enough hype around our name, boys, and we can get them to give us one first. How about that?
I am, and
what a crazy afternoon, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We got an Elijah Craig C923. Cannot be more excited about that. Those are hard to come by now since it won Bourbon of the Year or some award. And we also picked up another Lux Road double single barrel. Those are phenomenal. And if you haven't had them yet, you should go check them out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out the Discord, check out the Patreon. We got a lot of cool reviews and stuff. The Discord's going crazy. Thank you guys. Until next time, Bourbon Hunter out.